Now, I push this down here, starting, and we will be live here momentarily. We're live right now.
Okay, today's date is June the 9th, 2019. It's 2:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess it's 1:12 p.m. on Bill's time. And I guess you're going to name this video, since this is coming off of your channel, Bill, it's going to be called Monday FA Monday Exposed or Identified, or what's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah, we'll talk about Monday, Forever Alone Monday. I
Okay,
think that's probably a good thing to talk about.
okay.
You know, I did do a video for people to see.
Are we live
Okay.
actually? Are we going live? I mean, as
Oh,
far as
you're live right now, man. You're live right
okay,
now.
we're live. Okay, we're live. All right, that sounds good.
Yes, okay, so people are seeing us right now just the way it
Okay.
is. And so yeah, I did a video that I posted up this morning exposing Monday, Forever Alone Monday, for who the guy really is. And I showed and said what I thought. But I think it's important Steve gives Steve's feelings to what he thinks about Forever Alone Monday.
Well, he's very articulate. He seems very well polished. When we talked on the phone, he sounds like one of those shock jocks. He's very fluid. He doesn't stutter his words. He's very just an extremely well polished, like kind of like a Joe Rogan, where Joe Rogan doesn't slop his words and say He just fires through, and that is the requisite to be, to be into the media. You have to be fluid with your thoughts. You waste very little to no time. Um, so I think that something seems, and it's not that he doesn't use like real fancy graphics like Alex Jones does, but he seems to have a very professional setup. It's not expensive to do that. I think the biggest thing is his presentation seems very canned and scripted.
Yeah, yeah. What I seen myself was he is too professional. That stands out. Okay, it really does. And then when I had the rumors come at me that he worked for Alex Jones,
Right.
or at least in the same studio or whatever with Alex Jones, anybody's done their homework knows that Alex Jones never owned that studio. That is Turner, Time Warner, Broadcasting, Warner Brothers, Hollywood. Okay. How do you think Alex Jones made all of his professional documentary movies? Okay.
Oh, I know the Obama deception. He had that thing pre. That thing came out like in March of 2009, like a month and a half after he got in office, and like it was so well. A normal person would have taken a year to put something like. I mean, they had a team of people do that.
Yes, and that was very professionally done, like a lot of
Oh
his
my
stuff.
God.
Okay, so and when you put two and two together, and I started looking and I Google searched him, here I come up with this Blue Sky Media tagged underneath his Monday Forever Alone's Monday's video. So why
Oh,
would you
so
have
his so somehow the Blue Sky Media website name got tagged under the picture,
it's
and
tagged
so it
under his picture in the freaking search bar for Google?
and he keeps saying he's got an engineering background. He does. Well, he said he does do computer programming and all that. He probably does. He's probably involved in multiple things dealing with computers.
Oh, he is. He is. There's a whole list. I read a list off in my video.
Yeah.
Okay. He has a marketing firm, financial and marketing. That's Blue Sky Media. He
Mm-hmm.
has a distribution company that
Right.
distributes thousands of movies and series worldwide, international every year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about this, so you're looking at a guy that's got a distribution company distributing thousands of movies and series every year. No, no, no. How would you do that? You would have to be linked to somebody like Hollywood, wouldn't you? So I,
Right. Yeah. It's a very. You're absolutely right. It's a very sophisticated operation. I mean, it really is. And of course, when you can change the narrative and say and blame the guy for it and say, well, the reason why you lack women is because you're not a normie, and which is simply not true. Because a lot of non-normie can still land a girlfriend, but there's what we're seeing in the dating scene today is a bigger percentage of men of all socioeconomic backgrounds that are just going without.
oh, that's exactly it. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you're at, you know. But when you pay attention to Monday Forever Alone Monday's videos on Incel, he's basically sending guys right back down the rabbit hole that it's your fault.
Right,
You'll
exactly.
be alone because it is your fault. And
It's your
that's,
right.
I did that video I did yesterday. It took me a little while to put that together. It was a whole,
Mhm.
it was longer than I wanted it to be. But in order to get the message to men and manosphere, basically to young men, is I want you to know it's not your fault.
Right.
If you go through blaming yourself for something you had no control of over because
Right.
this is what they want, then you're going to do mental damage and health damage to your own self. And you're going to
Right.
shorten your life. You're going to have all of these issues coming up from the stress and the depression and the
Mhm.
blaming yourself for something you had nothing to do with. And that's my big problem with people who don't want to be honest, that are only up here for the money or for their own selfishness. I sort of see Monday Forever Alone Monday as being an agent, a psyop. It's
Right. Well,
deliberately
I
done.
mean, okay, you showed me that picture, Bill, of that one guy that you thought was him, and I kind of like rebutted it and said it looks like it could not be him. But do you want to put that picture back up real quick and show it?
Yeah, I can see if I can get it back up in here
I
without
mean, it's
messing.
not necessary. I guess what I'm saying is
Yeah.
it kind of looked like him, but it his head looks a little more, it's like, so when you if so right now if you go on Google and you type in the words Monday FA Monday, that Blue Skies Media will immediately pop up under it.
It'll be under his video and you'll see the Blue
Mhm.
Skies Media logo underneath it. And then if you
Oh,
and then if you go to Blue Skies Media and you just go to Monday Forever Alone Monday's video, open it up in one browser or one window and have this website open on the other window and start really paying attention and comparing. Oh no, that's
hmm,
definitely him. That is
right.
definitely him. All
So
you gotta do is
he's
lose the
basically
earrings.
he's creating a different name called Forever Alone and hijacking the TFL movement. Is basically what he's doing.
Basically, is what he's doing is he's got a
Yeah.
different name Forever Alone. He's
Hmm.
got his other channel. He's got 10,000 subs where he's talking right and left political.
Hmm.
Okay, and he's actually doing a reply to Sophie. And there's Alex Jones talking with Sophie. Okay, so and you think about it, when you really put the picture together, what you got is a guy that's got himself his own company that's up there working with Hollywood, sort of like Jason Goodman. He does live
Right.
streams on YouTube every day. But if you follow Jason Goodman and know who he is, you realize he's Mr. Hollywood himself.
Hmm.
So what you have is connect the dots. One more time, start connecting the dots.
Right.
And when you start connecting the dots and looking, you see who these people are. And when the video I did the other day was pretty much simple. A young man from United Kingdom goes up under Monday Forever Alone Monday's video, leaves a comment and says it politely to him, "Are you ever going to do a live stream with Steve Hoca and talk about True Force Loneliness topics?"
Right.
And the answer was immediately, "I don't have time to do a live stream. I'm too busy being an agent for the New World Order."
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that is a big red flag because first off, Steve Hoca never dove into New World Order all these years.
Well, Bill, I disagree. I did. I was an Alex Jones fan back in the early mid 2000s, so I totally disagree. The thing is, I never tied it into the dating scene. Is what
No,
I
well,
did.
that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
The people that know you online, Steve,
yeah,
knows you from the dating scene topics.
right. I because I was studying Alex Jones. In fact, I was into Bill Cooper back in the early '90s. But I never really tied in that there was an agenda to mess up the dating dynamics. Although I do remember in the '90s, all these weird book before PUA came out, all these books were being published about how to get a date, how to get a date. In fact, there was a guy in the late '90s, and I think he's still around. His name is Don Diebel. It's called GetGirls.com, and he talks about he had a bunch of those old '80s, '90s books about picking up girls, and then that eventually it transitioned into PUA in the early 2000s or late 90s.
Yeah, so the reality is, yes, Steve does know
Mhm.
this because Steve is the one that first ever said PUA CIA.
Well, because I had to put a finger on something. You see, what you don't know about if you ever watched Eben Pagan, whose pen name was David D'Angelo, he even says that he's got a degree or he's got a background in marketing. And so when you put the pieces together, even with guys like Eben Pagan, they knew what they were doing. They knew there was a niche out there. They knew this was going on. They were part of a big group of people. It wasn't a one-man show doing this. This was a very sophisticated operation. How it got started, I mean, we don't know. We really can't trace everything, but sometimes these people slip up. And Eben Pagan made it clear that he found a niche for this.
Yeah. Well, they do. They actually slip up, and I think personally, I think the Forever Alone Monday thing is a psyop on the manosphere.
Right,
If you pay attention to even, I'm used to my channel being locked down. I've lost a few channels already. I've lost thousands of videos losing the channels.
right.
My sub list I've been pushed down and held back for years now. And when you pay attention to Steve Hoca's channel and his subs, you discover that they locked him down. You discover he's not being allowed to grow. And then when you pay attention to what's going on, you see that the end stages of NWO is upon us, and they're moving in on the manosphere. And
Mm-hmm.
as they move in on the manosphere, the two most honest people out of the entire manosphere that are on the net, you're looking at right here, Steve Hoka
Well,
and myself.
Bill, I don't like internet flame wars. I just like to call it so that we can get people to
Yes,
not be confused about this stuff because, internet flame wars are it's two egos going at each other, and one person
it's
has to
not
act.
worth it. It's not worth
Yeah,
it.
it's not worth it. I think that I was a little bit euphoric. Like, you remember how you went real euphoric over when in doubt, make town. I knew he was a fraud from the beginning, but then I went excited about FA Monday, but then I started to look at it and I thought there was something not he's not telling people the whole truth. He seems to be bent on the self-help movement, which is that you're where you're at in the dating scene because you're not normal. Okay, which is just plain nonsense.
Yes, it is. It is. And
When
well, Steve, you was right. Steve wanted to
mm-hmm,
call Win and Doubt out from the very, very get go.
right,
And even though I saw what Steve saw, I was being myself and I says, no, I don't want to call him right now. I want to give him some rope because I want, if he's going to be real or hang himself, even though I still saw what Steve said and I had a feeling he's going to tie that rope around his neck. How long will it take him? Well, he did. He tied the rope around his neck. Steve could have caught him out immediately, like what I seen Steve seen, and Steve wouldn't have been wrong. But if the guy would have went the other direction, then Steve would have been like, So, for me, it was like, no, let's feed him a little bit of rope and let's see what he does with it.
right,
So that's sort of where I came from with that, but no, Steve's very right about most of the stuff Steve says. I mean, it goes back to the reality is Steve is not a young 20-year-old. Steve has life experience behind him and he's honest. He's telling you what he sees.
right,
And that's actually what's important is that he's telling you what he sees and he's being honest with you, just like
right.
I am. So when it comes to the manosphere, and this is
Mm-hmm.
not a bragging contest, it's just the fact is the most honest people I see in the manosphere is myself and Steve.
Right. Sorry, I was playing around with these settings here.
Yeah, I can tell.
Okay, don't worry about
So, and I don't like to, I wish more people would be honest with themselves, especially in the manosphere.
it. Mm-hmm.
Because you got so many so-called MGTOWers that are actually TFLers that just don't want the name, but they're
Mm-hmm.
going to run down the rabbit hole of Forever Alone,
Yeah.
and then they're going to be back to blaming themselves. And that ain't going to do you any good because all the evidence
Right. Well,
that
what's
you ever need.
going on in the comment section? I'm on the interface, so I can't see.
Oh, okay. In the comment section, we have just
So
Jeff
yeah.
Ashton.
Okay.
Okay. And he was talking about your subs. You don't see
Yeah.
Steve. You don't see why Steve don't have 100,000 subs already.
Yeah.
Well, Steve should have, but he's
Mhm.
not going to because he's honest. You can't come up on YouTube and be honest and get anywhere. You got to go
Right.
down the rabbit hole and be part of the lies and the deception.
Mhm.
If you want to get anywhere, this is why you see people like Mike the Migto Monk with the subs he has, is because the guy's asleep to what's really going on and goes along with the propaganda. And when you go along with the propaganda, they're not going to hold you back. They're going to let anybody that's fooled by the lie come along and be right there with you, and you just carry on the line. When I'm looking at agents, I think the one common denominator that you see with any agent online is they're all here for one reason: to perpetuate the problem, to keep the problem alive and healthy.
Mhm. So what do you suggest to people about FA Monday? Don't fall for it, because I mean, at this point, if you did expose that he works for a media outlet, all bets are off. It's kind of like if you let a crackhead live in your house and he steals from you, there's no point in trying to work it out because the guy's probably going to do it again. It's
Well, you're not going to shut, the way I look at it is this way. On an individual basis, people got to be able to really back up.
right.
No, absolutely not. On an individual basis, people got to really be able to back up and examine him himself and pay attention to his wording real close,
Right.
and then pay attention to what's really going on. Because
Mhm.
if you're going to believe him hook, line, and sinker, and he's dishonest with you, then you're going to believe in a lie. And at
Mhm.
the end of the day, you're going to be the one that's depressed and hurting, not him.
Right.
And depression, unfortunately, from being alone, is a killer because it destroys lots of lives. We've had TFLers killing themselves.
Right.
Okay. The depression
Well,
alone can bring on strokes and other
yeah.
health issues.
And it can, and most people never commit suicide, but the biggest thing is an elongated period of just depression that these guys that are living TFL go through.
It is. It is. And you got these guys that get up here online and they want to brag. They get the women are throwing themselves at them and they're getting sex all the time. And we already know from life experience that these guys are just lying their tails off.
Hmm.
That's all they're doing. They're lying their tails off. And it's sad because we shouldn't be in a society filled full of people that want to lie, but people are so worried about what somebody else might think of them
Hmm.
and fitting in with other people that they're not
Yeah.
willing to back up and be themselves.
Was it amazing that Forever Alone, and 6 months ago, 3 months ago, I didn't even know who this guy was, and all of a sudden he pops up out of nowhere, and every you look at his archives are 2 years old. He could have had those videos made recently and just had them stamp the dates on them.
Oh, that's how easy this stuff works.
Yeah, it's like they can modify this stuff because obviously when you're looking at how sophisticated it works, if in fact Blue Sky's media is tied into Google or whatever, it just stands to reason they've got this game wrapped up as far as the control is concerned. I mean, I remember that I think it was Joe Salente didn't think that the geeks would ever be able to be overpowered, but the geeks are now working for the system, and it's really bad. The
Well,
people that would have,
yeah.
like when they would have, oh, you always hear about these guys like Kevin Mitnick that would break into a computer system and kind of thumb their nose at the system because they were kind of like the pioneers of doing that type of thing. But nowadays, it seems that they've amalgamated all power, and it's all centrally power now. It's all central control.
Yes, yes, exactly. And unfortunately, what Steve said is so correct. And the only thing that I can do or Steve can do is try to encourage you to look for the cause, understand you're not the cause, so that you're not blaming yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yeah.
cannot we cannot help you. You have to help you with the stress because what is
Well,
Steve and I
yeah.
gonna do outside of give you sound advice?
Mhm.
That's really where it comes from. So I don't like to see guys or anybody suffer. I
Right.
do understand that men and women alike are victims of this.
Mhm.
It's just on two different ends. The
Right.
primary victim is men, not women.
I'd say so too, because even when women are lonely, it's usually like a death in the family, or maybe their grandmother died, and they feel a loss, so that's their loneliness. Or maybe they've been out of it, maybe they're the man of their dreams left them for another woman, and that's what we would constitute lonely. But try living, being 18 years old and knowing that the next 18 years you're going to probably be hopelessly romantic for the rest of your life. And that's, Bill, I did a video back in May of 2008 called 18-year-old virgin equals 36-year-old virgin. And the irony of that whole video was there's a 29-year-old guy who's got his own channel who's a virgin. So this is 11 years ago. So this guy was
Mm-hmm.
18 when I made that video. Now he's 29 and he finds himself in the same situation. So I need to re-upload that video and put it up there. I think I've got it on my server here, right on YouTube.
Right. Well, I know what Steve's talking about now. Yeah, this guy's this old now. And we have guys, we have guys here that are just now 18, 19, 20, and this is the age bracket that's getting the rude slap in the face right now
Right,
and is being stressed out. And then it's not going to go away because it's going to continue to go. Steve knows this. You're going to continue to go. You're going to be 18, and next thing you know, you're going to be 25, and then you're going to be 30, and you're most likely still going to be alone. And if you're not alone, you're going to wind up in a situation where you're being treated lower than dirt.
right. And it's nothing more creepier than being a single man. Okay, you can't be around kids. You can't go to family functions. A single woman has a lot of options because she's still seen as independent and she doesn't need a boyfriend, which I maintain strongly that a lot of women nowadays are just in what I call dating limbo. They're not really this 80-20, this idea that there's all these women out there chasing and hitting the bars. A lot of women are very much in this day and age are in love with their careers and themselves. They're not in love with they're not. I don't see any affection today. So I would say that it's tougher to be a man because not only are you not getting affection from the opposite sex, but you're seen as a creep by society.
Oh, that's exactly it. In
You could
society,
take if an attractive girl was taking pictures at an amusement park, or let's say at the beach, and she's shooting pictures, I highly doubt she'd be approached. But if some dude were doing it and he were all alone and didn't have a family with them, they think he's a, oh, well, can I see that camera? I mean, they've done this experiment where they've actually had one about 5, maybe 7 years ago on YouTube, where this guy, they wanted to see what would happen. So they had two different people taking pictures, and some lady walked up to him and says, "I want to see what's on your camera," and then but they said, "Oh,
Uh-oh, lost him. Uh-oh, Mr. Hoca froze. His computer may have overheated, who knows? As you can tell, he froze up. Okay, Steve is froze up, and there's nothing I can do about that. He's probably a laptop, probably overheated again. So, we got a little bit of a live stream in here, didn't we? Before Steve's computer overheated, because that's about what it is. And there's not much I can do about that. As you see, Steve is gone. I can do this and attempt to bring him back. Okay, but we'll see if that happens or if it don't happen. As you see, it's just me. Call from Steve Hoca. Yep. Oh, come on, phone. Call ended. Okay, and that was Steve calling me on the phone, and it ended, of course, right as he called me. I think he's calling me to tell me his laptop overheated and that he has to reboot it again, and that's about what it is. Okay, and so that's probably why we lost Steve, is because his laptop overheated and he had to reboot again. There's nothing I can do about that. We can give it a couple minutes and see if Steve shows back up. Okay. I mean, there's not a lot I can do about that. Now it looks like I froze up. Yep, that's what it's looking like. Even I froze up on the live stream. Now we'll have Warren. You know how this goes. So Warren, I'm in a live stream. That's what's up. I was with Steve Hoca, but Steve Hoca, I think his computer overheated. Okay. If you want to jump in, you got the information, use your phone and call it. Okay, call the information and you'll be on. Okay, yep. Okay, we're going to leave it just the way it is for this moment. And we might have Warren here in a minute. So let's just wait and see if we get Warren here or not. Okay. Okay, come on, quit that. I don't know why you're doing this shit to me. I don't like it. I mean, I'm froze myself and I shouldn't be. There I am. Now I'm unfroze. And maybe here in a minute, Warren will be in. And if Steve can come back in, if Steve can reboot his computer, I have no problems with bringing Steve back in. Matter of fact, I'd love to have Steve back in. But for the moment being, if Warren wants to come in, he might come in here in a minute. So I'm going to hang out and see if he shows up. Okay? But I think you should watch my last video up. And I think you should understand who Forever Alone Monday really is. We're back to Hollywood again. We're back to psyopses and lies on the people. You can't expect anything different from anybody in today's society because the majority of people have sold out their souls, and right and wrong, they've sold out to evil for money for themselves, for their own selfishness. And I hate to say that, but that would be the truth. The majority of people have sold out. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes, and I see Dave's here, and I appreciate Dave being here. Yes, I did try to call you earlier. I figured either your phone was off or maybe you had to work. But I see you're here in the live stream, so maybe you didn't have to work, huh? I'm hoping Warren will get in here in a minute. He may have had to go out and get the information to call in. So I'll give him a minute to get in here. At the same time, I want to give Steve a little bit of chance in case Steve can find his way back in. That's all I can do. So I want to give Steve a little bit of a chance. I want to give Warren a little bit of a chance. It keeps saying meeting hasn't started yet. Well, I'm in a meeting right now. So I don't know why it's doing that, Warren. Give me a moment, Warren, and I'll see if I can't correct that. Okay? So we will do this, 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 and this. Okay, Warren, I'm still here even though it went black, and I'm back. Try and call in again. And see, I reconnected. We'll see how that works. There we are. I heard that.
Hey, Bill, I'm in here. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, this is Dave.
Hey, how's it going, Dave?
All right. Yeah, looks like I was able to get in there
Yeah, it looks
okay. So
like
yeah,
Dave.
I
Yeah,
saw that you.
I redone Zoom because Warren was trying to get in and couldn't get in. So I redone it. I logged out of Zoom and back into Zoom in the meeting. The meeting stats, so Warren should be able to get in now, and I'm glad Dave's here. And sad, Steve, I know what happened to Steve. His computer overheated. I'm sure that's what happened
Okay.
with Mr. Hoca. So there's nothing
Yeah.
I can do other than hope that Steve will log back into Zoom again once he gets his computer up. If he does, I can bring him back in. Okay?
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be great if you could get back in there.
You know, there's not a lot I can do other than that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to change things up now. I mean, you know. But yeah, I don't know if people paid attention to the last video I posted up. I put some information in people's face. And I do believe that's Forever Alone in that picture on Blue Sky Media.
Yeah, I did. I watched that last video you put up there. I got a chance to watch that last night.
Well,
Yeah, just
the one I put up
the
one I put up this morning. That's called "Who Is Forever Alone Monday, Forever Alone Monday."
Can y'all hear me?
I hear you, Warren.
Okay, I finally got in. Okay. Yeah, I've seen your videos of this morning, man. I don't know. I kind of don't want to believe the Blue Skies is a shill. He might be. He might not be. I mean, I don't have no reason to suspect that he is. But then some of the stuff you put up in that video today kind of shed a possible lot of skepticism on him. But I don't know. I mean,
well, you know, Steve was thinking, "Oh, Blue Skies is that young guy." No, pay attention.
yeah.
Pay attention. Blue Sky Media, the actual website. If you pay attention, no, there ain't no young guy that's got 20 years of distributing movies and films globally. Okay, so you
Yeah.
know, no, that's not so. And if you pay
He could have
attention,
just chosen that name, though.
yeah.
That's a YouTube name. I mean, there's probably 100 different companies with names like that.
Well, unfortunately, when I went to Monday, Forever Alone Monday, in a Google search, I put it in your face. Blue
Yeah,
Sky Media is linked directly into his video.
that's what I'm suspicious about, man. Is I've seen a lot of potential esoteric links, and the name Blue Skies when you went to when you went into a Monday Blues background and you looked into this whole Hollywood site and all this other shit. I mean,
Well, you know,
I don't know. I mean,
you know, and people, I don't, you know, I put the picture in their face, and I put his video in your face. And if you really pay attention to the man standing there after the child, and really pay attention, then you're going to see that I'm going to put more, and I'm 100% positive they are one and the same guy.
it could be, and this is theoretical here. I'm not saying that this is a fact. No, it could be that they kind of play off each other because I ran into Monday FA Monday through Blue Skies Media. That's how I found out about them.
Yeah.
You know,
And how long has he been on the scene? Do you believe he's
they
been
both
here?
haven't been on that long.
No. Do you believe he's been here 2 years?
No, neither of them
I don't think
have.
he's been here 2 years.
Okay,
But
well,
I think Monday's channel probably has a lot more hits, a lot more subscribers than Blue Skies does.
well, yeah. But
Blue Skies hasn't grown.
But my point is this. I have rumor that come back, and I showed you the 2 videos. Monday, Forever Alone Monday, has his account on YouTube called Monday Blue,
Yeah.
where he talks about political. He just happens to be talking about the same topic that Alex Jones did a full show on, Sophie. Okay? And calls her an actor and says he don't know where she got her script. Okay? Now,
Yeah.
you really look at the issue. Alex Jones, we know is CIA. We know that he worked for Turner, Time Warner, which is Warner Brothers, and that's where his studio's at. Now you think about this. Warner Brothers is Hollywood. Alex Jones got professional documentaries that he's been selling to the public for years. Hollywood grade, of course they are. Warner Brothers, Hollywood. Okay? Now, think about this. Sky Blue Media, the website, shows what appears to be Forever Alone Monday. Then, if you now go further than that, pay attention. We've been in business for 20 years. We handle and sell and distribute thousands of movies and series. Well, what kind of business would be handling thousands and thousands of movies and series?
I agree with most of what you said in that video, but I don't think we can concretely verify that that's Monday in that picture, though, because he did look kind of like dark skinned and Arabic looking.
Well, yeah, but
I do agree with you most of what you said.
But camera, this is where they fool the public. Have you ever looked at actors that are on camera and then looked at them in a real life picture when they ain't got all their makeup and shit on? Have you paid attention to the angle
Yeah, but the
of
guy's
his
face
face?
from what I can tell, looks a little bit young, too. I mean,
Well, but see, that's
I don't know, I
because
could be wrong. I mean, I could be, but
they didn't give you a full face review. They want what you're doing right now. They're loving what Warren's doing because they could throw this man in your face and we say we can just have a big old debate that he's not it. They won. My gut tells me
yeah.
it's my gut, and I go with my gut. I'm not going with anybody as anybody else says to me. When my gut tells me something's correct, it's never let me down all my life. And I examined that hard before I did the video. And my gut tells me that is him.
Yeah, it
And
might be. I'm not saying it's not.
and I don't care what anybody else tells me. They can follow their assumption down the rabbit hole, and the elite at the top will love it because you just help keep them covered up.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, well, I think you're
Yeah.
probably right, Bill, because you've obviously done a lot of looking into this guy. I don't really know too much about him, but I think he's too much of a professional to be legit. The way his PowerPoint presentations and his just the way he talks. It sounds like he's been in radio broadcasting, for the last like 20 years or something like that.
yeah.
He seems too clean. He seems too clean, almost to the point of suspicion, like something you can't quite put your finger on, right?
Well,
right.
yeah, I mean, and then when you read, if you look, that's why I showed you to do what he's doing, you need to, you're going to have done this for a living. Most likely he has a bachelor's degree. He's too professionally spoken. Okay? There's too many red flags. And when I start looking, I'm sorry, but when you do a Google search on Monday, Forever Alone Monday, and you have Blue Skies Media tagged into that search with the little box with just him in it, that means he is directly linked to Sky Blue Media, or that would not be that way. Then when
that was one of the things that got me questioning Blue Skies too, man, because I really don't want to think that he's an agent, but he might be. I mean, who's to say he's not? I mean,
well, the thing is when I went looking, I solely went with that, and I started looking, and you have what I showed you: Blue Sky Media, Blue Sky's marketing and financial. Okay.
yeah.
You
Well,
have several
he
different
never
big
responds to any of
firms.
his commenters either. Monday will actually respond to his commenters. Blue Skies won't. Not once did he ever respond to any of his commenters in any of his videos. But one thing that Blue Skies will do that Monday won't do is he's mentioned the words name TFL.
Yeah.
Now, who's Blue Sky? Which one's Blue Skies Media? Is that the kid with the baseball hat and the tattoos?
Yeah, that's him. The rapper kid. He's up in somewhere in New York, I think.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
well, unfortunately, you got, oh, well, he's the rapper kid. But when you look, and I'm going to go with my gut, I don't care what anybody tells me. You look hard at that picture, and my gut screams it. What you have is a man that's doing Monday Forever Alone Monday, Monday Blue, political videos, they all right, okay? Who has been working for Hollywood for years, just like Jason Goodman, okay? Who has come on the scene and is pulling a psyop on the manosphere. And I told people a while back, the manosphere, we're in the
Wait a minute, Bill. I'm on to something. Listen to this. I just figured something out. Hear me out. I'm not saying this is concrete. This is theoretical, but hear me out, okay? Blue skies and Monday represent. I was saying before it's LMS, but I'm thinking that there's more blue skies more so than LMS. I mean, sure, facing LMS is fucking shill too. But that's another story. Blue skies and Monday and Verlon are working as a dialectic pair, theoretically. Hear me out. They represent two opposite extremes. You got Monday, who's pushing passivity, who's pushing the lay down and rot, the go along to get along. You're at fault, sort of new agey kind of shit, right? Blame yourself type of shit, right? The forever alone thing. And then on the other end, you've got Blue Skies Media, who's the opposite extreme. Because I hear people a lot of times say, "Oh, well, he's too right, or he's too right," which I get. I mean, I kind of get that too, but I'm wondering if they're not doing that as a point of like, you got two opposite approaches. You got the angry incels and the depressed FAs. You see what I'm saying?
I totally.
Or they kind of play off of each other.
Well, they are, and if you're going to do a psyop on the people, you give them, okay, let's look at the reality, Warren. Monday Blue, which is still Monday Forever Alone Monday, right?
Yeah.
He's playing on the right. Political. He's playing on the right. And then you have people playing on the left, political. Democrat, Republican, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got the right and the left, right? So, and we have the Democrat, Republican, right? So,
Yeah.
and we all know that one entity controls both sides. So there is no two sides. There's one side only. We all know this, and it's because you want to believe there's two sides doesn't make it a reality. If you got one set of bosses telling both sides, it's no different than if you went to WWE. Okay? It's the same thing. Okay, I have to call him. So give me a second here, guys. Okay? To do what I have to do here. Okay? Come on. Think. Then we'll do this. Then we'll do this. Then we'll do this. And then we will do this. And hopefully not mess up our stream. Steve was trying to get back in.
Yeah.
So, it looks like Steve just came in, and
Yeah,
there
sorry,
he
Bill.
is.
You know what? I didn't have an overheat. I had my thing got locked up, and I had a little bit of problems with this. I might have to upgrade to Windows 10 because this thing has a tendency to lock up sometimes. And this is not the first time it's happened.
Okay.
So
I thought maybe it was an overheat, but I got you back in.
no, I'm good. It's not overheating, and if it does, that just keep it going the way it should. It's fine.
Yeah. So no, I was just talking with Warren about Forever Alone Monday, and Dave's in here with us as well.
Wow.
Okay. So, and I told Warren I'm going to go with my gut. I think that picture is Forever Alone Monday.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you know what? It could be an older picture too, Bill, because he said in his videos that he used to be kind of chunky or fat, so it's possible. But Bill, here's what I would say. Why did his picture get tied into Blue Skies Media in the first place? That's the question.
Well, look at the website itself that I showed everybody. You can find that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely Hollywood because there's nobody else that would be selling or distributing thousands of movies and series outside of somebody who's working for a Hollywood studio or somebody that does that. So You have that link. You have him doing the all right Politico with Alex Jones, even though they're not together, right? You have that link. Then you have this other kid with the tattoos that's calling himself Blue Sky Media on YouTube. But are they one and the same? Or are they just two different entities? Or is it what Warren said? Two sides to the same thing.
The incel side and the FA side.
Yeah.
You know, so they could be playing off each other like a dialectic. You know what I'm saying? Because I found out about Monday through Blue Skies Media. He mentioned them in a video. I was already watching Blue Skies videos, and he mentioned them, and that's how I found out about Monday.
Yeah.
So theoretically, when you look at it, man, I'm not saying this is a concrete fact yet, but this is just an idea that I have. Think about this. You got they each promote two opposite extremes, right? You got Monday promoting the FA side, which is all about blame yourself and beat yourself up and be a weak little faggot and go along and don't raise any resistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Blue Skies, which is a total opposite of that. He's all about resisting and being angry and all that, which I kind of identify with that myself. But I mean, I'm also objective enough to understand the angle behind it. I mean, I could possibly see how that would work. Because, I mean, think about it. They at least already know that this TFL problem is growing out of hand. And they know that there's going to be two groups among the TFLers. Those who mean the majority of people we're just going to lay down a rod and we're going to drop out of system, right? As they say, Japathic Mori or whatever they call it now, right? And then you got the people on the right who are, or I should say the right, I don't know why I said that. But you got the people on the other side, on the incel side, who are angry and who are, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even if that's only 10% of the future TFLers, that 10% will be the 10% that's going to be used to tear everything down and to fuck everything up.
Yeah, so
I mean, you know a good window about looking at the Muslim world, man. We got hair. I'm tired of hearing incels cope and talking about how, we'd be better off if we were living in a Muslim society. Because they're so stupid that they think that just because they're tougher on women, that means they must be pro-incel. That's myopic as fuck, bro. Let me explain how Muslim societies work. Okay, they're harem societies. One guy has 4 wives. That means 2 other men live TFL for life.
Yeah.
Why do you think ICE recruiters are fucking growing so goddamn much? You tell me,
Warren, plus you have another problem in Muslim societies. The men vastly outnumber the women. I mean, almost all Arabic countries, there's like 110 men to every 100 women. So you've got it's like a double, triple whammy.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I wanted to ask Steve something real quick. So Steve, did you come in the chat at all on type?
No, not at all.
That's what I had on to ask Steve. We got the phony Steve Hoca in here. He was trying to get my email. And I said, Steve don't need my email, man. Steve has the way in. And there you are.
The email.
So, so just so everybody knows, as we knew it was the phony Steve Hoca, the troll.
Just boot him out. Just boot him out.
And there he is.
I have my idea who I think that phony Steve Hoca might be, but I'm not putting names in. I think
at this point, it could be one of 10 people I know. But here's the thing that, Warren, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but as you said, keep continuing about the Arab thing. Okay, so you say that you got 3 men grabbing one woman, or 3 women to every man, and naturally. Go ahead, finish.
Well, it's like 4. There's one man get 4 wives, and 3 other men have to live TFL for life for that woman to have 4 wives. Right? So then you get these ISIS recruiters. They look for all these eminently starved young men, and they say, hey, sign with us, and, if you sign with us, and you blow yourself up in this building, you'll get 72 virgins in the afterlife, or sign with us, and we'll train you, and, if you come help us over here and knock over this neighboring state in a coup, we'll give you war brides, concubines, whatever.
Warren, I got a theory as to why these powers that be are flooding the Western countries with third world people. Think about this. these people come from a culture where they don't even have like regular septic or sewers or bathroom or clean drinking water, unless you lived in like Iraq was the most modern city. So here's my theory on it. I theorize that once they get their NWO in place, they're going to annihilate these people. They have no use for them. They really don't. They're just doing it to bring down Western society because it's got to be. It doesn't make these policies that they're pushing in Ireland and Scotland. They're bringing in third world people to like totally eviscerate these cultures.
Well, here's what's happening, man. Here's what's happening, right? Most of Western Europe in another 20 years can be majority Arabic, man. And possibly a lot of Canada, too. And a lot of America is going to be mostly Arabic or mostly Hispanic. But what you have is between the Middle East and the Western world is, like I said, both cultures are invading one another. So, I mean, even though most Western countries are being replaced by Arabs for the most part, you also got to bear in mind that a lot of Western countries have leveled their own countries and are setting up mock Americanized type systems, which is going to affect their culture. So a lot of the Americanism of Western culture is going to rub off on them too. So what you will have is like an Americanized Arabic sort of population. It's kind of like some weird middle ground.
I theorize another theory is that the gold that the oil that these countries have is so great. I mean, the value of it, and we can't beat Saudi Arabia in an open war. It would be a war of attrition. So we probably broker deals where we take these excess men and we allow them to come into these countries like in Europe in exchange for oil rights. And really, I thought about there's got to be something not right because. I mean, you're going to have all these men in the Middle East that are civil unrest is harder to control when you have all these single men out there that can't find anybody.
Yeah. And that's the issue with the third world. That's probably one of the reasons why, I mean, I'd say it's the only reason, but it's one of the big reasons why the third world is so chaotic. Now, really, you're talking about Eastern Europe, Africa, Middle East, South America, whatnot. When you got high rates of poverty, you're going to have high rates of TFL. And a lot of guys are going to fucking flip their shit, go off the crazy end because they've got no future. They got no job prospects. They've got no relationship prospects. They've got no future. They've got nothing to lose. They're hungry. They're hurt. What do you think some of these guys are going to do?
Yeah, but let's keep it on a local level, just in this country. Yeah. What do you think the future holds for men in the United States as far as living TFL? I did a video back in 2008, and I said 1 in 10 men won't find a woman. You think it's like 30-40%?
It might be. I mean, it's at least 30%. I mean, usually, bear in mind, that 30% they gave us the official statistic didn't take into certain things into account.
Yeah, like
PBS him is one of his videos, man.
So what is...
There's a lot of guys that aren't going to be honest about their sexual exploits. There's a lot of guys that are single, they're pulling their ass. They're going to say they're smashing puss and all this other shit when they haven't had pussy since pussy had them.
So, question. I want to throw Dave. I want to throw Dave into this for a minute. I want Dave's opinion on what Steve and Warren are talking about.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of this is just outsourcing jobs, devaluing jobs. I've seen this a lot in my personal, company that I'm working for. So many of our jobs are going to, people from the Middle East. A lot of Moroccans, especially, have come over here and have come to work for the company that I'm working for. And you can kind of see they're kind of moving into, then the government is coming in here, stepping in. They're taking pay. They want to take pay raises away. They want to rewrite the pension guidelines. They want to make you work longer for less. And this is actually kind of going on not just with my company, but all over I think all over the country.
I would.
I'll go back to this. The reason why is we lean more into depression. Those rates of TFL are going to rise. Is because women are social climbers, man. Okay, women aren't going to feel the pangs of economic recession until it hits rock bottom, until the monetary system completely crashes. They're not going to feel it until then. Reason being is because they'll keep selling themselves off to the highest bidder. whoever's faring well with this shitty economy. They'll look for the people who are doing the best. Once things start to get more and more poor, they'll start looking. I mean, well, the right thing is, I mean, that's how I imagine it being. But then again, you got to think, part of the reason for the collapse being is because you got all these women coming here, all these STEM fields that they really don't know what they have. I mean, yeah, they're quote, educated. A lot of them aren't really good at this kind of shit, man. I mean, like I said, that's how empires fall. I mean, it's part of the process of. I mean, there are certain things that men are just generally better at, just like there are certain things that women are generally better at. I mean,
I'm not gonna argue with that because that would be correct, you know. But we're in a situation right now, okay? Women hold all the power in the dating scene, okay? And that's not going to change. But what's going to change is as we get close, we get further in. We're at the end stages of NWO right now. They do what they do want to do away with both genders. They don't want genders.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, and that's why you see the massive confusion going on with the transsexual and the gay and the lesbians and all of these genders because it is just for that. It is to confuse.
Well, Bill, the only thing
I can tell you.
Hold on, let Steve go, Warren.
Okay, the one thing I wanted to say, Bill, is that there is still a bridal industry, and there are still people winning in this marriage game. I mean, you can't say everyone's going to be TFL. There's a lot of people, all the children of politicians, like the Romneys, every one of their kids got spouses. I mean,
well, I understand what you're saying, Steve, and this is where I'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay, this is really what they want for the end goal. Yes, there's going to be marriages. Yes, there's going to be men and women. But their goal is just like the psychopathics' goal. They want the upper echelons, the upper class. They will be the ones that will have real relationships, real women. The lower class, which would be the average slave, cow, cattle, whatever they look down at us for, they don't want genders in that situation. They want to control the birth rate. They want to. This is why they're putting money into sex dolls and sex bots. Right. You're not spending all that money and technology to create that for no reason.
Right.
So you're going to have a situation when they close their final plans, you're going to have a wedding industry. You're going to have what Steve's talking about, but it's going to be for the upper echelon. And the lower tier, the lower tier is going to be us. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's just going to be like a rich man's luxury, just to get that, just to get married, just to find a wife and get married. Eventually that's what it's going to come down to.
Yes.
This is how I see it going, right? Women are going to keep playing it. They want to be equal. They want to be equal, and then dominate everything and play the superiority card until it crashes into the ground, right? Once it crashes into the ground and they're no longer being protected, they're going to be screaming for protection. They're going to want to go back to chivalry over equality again, right? Because always been this thing like, the African women, they'd rather have chivalry or equality. They can only pick one. Most of them are going to tell you they want equality, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, we'll wait till things crash. You don't want men to protect them again. And like you said, what's going to happen is the uber rich class will the top 10% are going to come in and sweep them in and take them in, and that's going to be their quote protection. The rest of the guys, everybody else is going to be given fucking robots.
Yeah, well, that's why I see it going, because when people really understand the NWO agenda, they're getting their population reduction right now, and they've been getting their population reduction. Birth rates are falling. I mean, it's in people's face. They just got to pay attention. We're not overpopulated. That's a complete lie. Okay, but we're approaching the end times now, to where they're going to get their wants because nobody's doing nothing about it. As they said we wouldn't, we're not. And it's going to come down to just that. They're going to invest all this money into these sex dolls and sex bots for the average tier people. And for the upper echelon, they will be the ones that will have a real woman, real breeding. And for the lower echelon, you'll have to be approved to have breeding in some damn hatchery. And that's only if you can get approved.
And that raises the question, Bill. Who's the handlers of these upper people, man? Who's their handlers? Because they got, I mean, because you got to think somebody's breeding them because these people are being deliberately farmed too. You know, our elites are being farmed from their elites. That's what people don't understand, man. It's like they are being farmed, man. I mean, think about it, man. They're running an inbreeding cycle when they run a polygamy game. I mean, you know,
It is.
you know, that means that. I mean, a few of the people that are born might be able to perform their function, might have IQ, and a lot of these people which can be. I mean, I think the way it works in a lot of these polygamous societies, right? I don't know. I think it's mental insanity, man. But you can look at other groups. You can look at the Mormons, right? Say, for example, their philosophy is okay. They're going to inbreed. They're going to spit out like let's say 12 babies, and out of those 12 babies, maybe 2 or 3 of those babies might be fit to be born without any genetic abnormalities and then pop out right. And their idea is that those 2 or 3 are going to be genetically superior, even though all the rest of they had to execute or they had to euthanize were defective. Somehow that one of them that did not right away appear defective is genetically superior. No, what they end up being is psychopathic.
Yeah. Well, that's what you got. I mean, look around you. We're in a world right now full of psychopaths and women, and the majority, not all, of course, are self-entitled, narcissist, psychopathic females, and we have nobody really to blame but ourselves because we placed them above ourselves. We gave double standards that we all accepted. Okay, we placed them above ourselves. We have our double standards. We don't hold them accountable. We don't hold them accountable for really mostly everything, and we give them all the say so over everything in the dating scene. So I don't know what people thought the results of that was going to be, but you're looking at the results. That's why you're seeing what's going on. And
You know,
when
sometimes the more I learn, the more I know that I don't really know anything, man. Because like you get so far into all this knowledge, and you still don't know who's really running the show, man. You still don't. We still can't get that far, man. I mean, we know that we have people that rule our institutions through financial interest and things like that, gained in the banks and these big banking families and all that.
Warren,
And
I
we know
wouldn't be
enough that we can see
surprised.
that they have handlers, but we
I
can't see who
know.
those handlers are.
Well, Warren, I wouldn't be surprised if we get up to the top of the pyramid and you find out that who's really running the show isn't what David Icke's been telling you. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it wasn't another life form. And to say
You
this,
know?
and I know that may sound crazy to people, but I'll tell you what, when you just use a little common sense and stand back, you realize you live on planet Earth. You realize that there's all kinds of life forms around you. So how can you say there's not another life form that you know nothing about that's been hidden from you? You wouldn't know that. I wouldn't be surprised a bit if the top of that pyramid
The only thing
is in
I can
some
say,
other
man,
life
is sit
form.
on the fence. You know, don't take anything as truth or fiction until you can concretely prove it one way or the other.
Now that I agree. I love sitting on a fence because when you sit on a fence, you're not going to open your mouth and call somebody nuts before you know because you can't concretely back it up. And if you can't
You gotta
concretely
keep your
back it
mind
up,
open to all possibilities, man.
yeah,
You know, because the first rule of learning the truth is you start off admitting that you know nothing, man. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know something. I know what I've learned, but even that's not necessarily set in stone. I mean, I mean, you're looking at everything. It's like one big piece of one big giant puzzle, right? I could find a puzzle piece tomorrow that completely changes the whole picture I'm looking at.
yes.
You know?
So is Dave still here?
Yeah, I'm still here, Bill.
Okay, it's Steve that dropped out then. Yeah, I noticed Steve was gone, so I just had to say something. So Steve dropped out again. What can I say about that? Maybe he had his computer locked up again. You just never know.
I hope he gets back in.
Hey,
I like talking to Steve, man.
I like having Steve
pretty
over
bright.
as well. Originally, I was
Yeah.
going to do a live stream with Steve last night, but Steve got busy, in his own life, doing his own thing, and it didn't happen. And so today was actually a little better for me because he thought about tonight, but for Steve that would work, but that wouldn't work for me because I have to get up so early with my son in the morning. I can't be up to freaking half the night and be up to get him. So We came in today, which actually worked out. It's just sad that Steve has had the issues he's had, because I enjoy hearing Steve's opinion. And I did want to expose Monday Forever Alone Monday, because what I see and what my gut tells me, this is where I go from. And I'm not going to go any other direction. And I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm going to go with my gut, because my gut's never lied to me. Okay, and it actually makes sense and it goes together. This guy has a platform that is sold. Thousands and thousands are distributed, not just sold, but distributed. Thousands and thousands of movies and media porn platforms. Has a marketing and financial company as well. Okay, they're all linked to this same thing. And when you think about Alex Jones and his professional documentaries, and you look at what's really going on, this is just another connect the dots. Okay, you have Hollywood involvement on YouTube. That's what you got.
Right.
And for
Yeah.
people to understand, if you're up on YouTube and you got more than 5,000 subs, 10,000 subs, you're either completely dumb and going along with the propaganda, like Mike the MGTOW Monk. And I'm not trying to say he's dumb, but he's asleep. He don't know what's going on around him, and he believes what's fed to him. So he pushes the same propaganda. They'll leave you alone, okay? And if you're an agent, of course, a shield, you're going to come up like Forever Alone Monday did. You can come up out of nowhere, and you can have
Right.
all these
I,
subs out of nowhere.
I never even heard of the guy until about maybe a month ago when Steve Hoca mentioned him,
Well,
and
you
I
know, I
decided to
think.
look
Well,
into him. And
I heard of him from Warren. Warren heard of him from this tattooed blue sky media on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but now
right,
let's look at it. You go to his channel and it suggests that he's been here for 2 years. Well, I'm sorry, but he's doing dating scene topics, and I search dating scene topics at least once every other month or twice every other month. I will search the dating scene topics to see and look for anybody that's new. And this guy
right,
has never been here, and he just comes out of nowhere.
right. I mean, I'm the same way. I would have come across this guy a long time ago if if he had been around for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I ran into him too, man, because if I'll be looking for stuff like that, like it's not always just under like the TFL banner. I mean, I'm looking for under any banner. Whether it's the Forever Alone, the Incels, whether it's
I
unassociated with
understand
the
that, Warren, but I can do a dating scene search. I can put in all the headlines. It don't have to be just under TFL. You have a lot of
yeah,
people that use tags for TFL, incel, men going their own way, and they'll throw all them tags in there. But that's not the point.
yeah,
The point is when you're searching the dating scene, okay, this guy, if he's been here for 2 years, should have showed up a long time ago.
yeah,
And he didn't. And you know, it's sort of like Flat Earth, Warren. You could sit
yeah,
there and have Hollywood make hundreds of documentaries and movies and archive them, and then come up on Google because they're all in bed together and just place them up. And then out of nowhere, everybody goes down the rabbit hole and nobody questions. And Google is a very,
no.
very credible
Take
entity. They can put any
take this with a
date
grain
they
of
want.
salt. What I'm about to tell you, Bill. Take this with a grain of salt. Because the commenter on YouTube's name, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something to the effect of "looks don't matter" or something. That's why I said take this with a grain of salt. But I remember they said something underneath one of the videos somewhere. I can't remember whose video this was on. They said that they think that or the Monday Anti Monday used to be against lookism and looks money status and all that stuff, and now all of a sudden he started speaking for it. Now if
You
he's an
know what?
agent, that would make sense.
I wouldn't be
Huh?
surprised if Forever Alone Monday, if he don't have a wife,
Yeah.
if he don't have a woman in his life.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all, dude. Look at it, dude. You honestly expect me to believe that that guy's living forever on TFL and so whatever the fuck you want to call it? Do you really think me expect me to believe that he? I mean, look at the guy. The guy's a 6 foot tall Chad, and everything else we've already uncovered about him. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's
Well, you got a guy in
strong
here.
reason to suspect that he's linked to Joe Rogan and fucking Alex Jones and all this other shit. So
Yeah, well, you got a guy in here who left a comment, Tartagon, who says that that guy on Blue Sky Media advert wasn't Monday Forever. Okay? So he's telling you they wasn't the same. Well, of course they're not the same because the guy Warren talked about Blue Sky Media on YouTube is a young guy with tattoos and shit in a hat. Okay? And Forever Alone Monday, no, they're not the same guy. And when you pay attention to Forever Alone Monday, you see somebody that most likely has a bachelor's degree, that has been in media for a long time, who knows what the hell he's doing. And that website, I'm sorry, but that is definitely, I know that's him by my gut. And it makes sense. It all goes together. It all goes together so perfect. What you got
and
is,
that makes sense too. That makes sense too when you look at the dialectic bill because Monday Forever on Monday's all professional and like kind of how do you say it, like clean cut and professionally spoken. I mean, right, he's the guy that's pushing the forever and passive route, the passive, passive sort of high intellect type, right? And then you got Blue Skies, which of course is, I mean, I'm not saying he's very educated, but he's more, he speaks more street, more with a little more anger in his step, and things like that. It's a very different presentation, you see. I
yeah,
mean, you see, I mean,
I know what you're saying. My main thing this morning was as I decided I wanted to dig into Monday Forever Alone Monday. And so I started doing research on Forever Alone Monday. So I typed in Google search Monday, Forever Alone Monday. Okay. And
yeah,
I started scrolling through looking, and then uh I find what you call for Sky's Blue Media with the tab wrote into his video, Forever Alone Monday's video, on a Google search. It's literally wrote into it, okay, linking him back to Sky's Blue Media. And so I'm going, okay, what is that? And I'm just doing all this different research. And in doing that research, what I seen and what my gut screamed, I'm sorry, I don't care what people tell me. I see it clear. This guy probably did work with Alex Jones. This guy's got a distributing company who's working directly for you. You don't have a company that's distributing thousands of movies and series without being linked to Hollywood. And it makes sense to
yeah.
have Hollywood come up here and do an act and come into the manosphere because I told you we're in the end days and they are coming after the manosphere. Pay attention to even Steve Hoca's subscribers. He has been froze and
Well,
he's losing.
this won't be the first time that Hollywood has interfered in the manosphere and TFL incel topics and whatnot. Man, everybody remembers the name Elliot Rogers, right?
Now that could be, I like what this guy said here. Okay, this guy here says Monday Forever Alone is a Fed, an agent, a cop, a Mason. He's putting up red and blue, which is Mason occult, okay? Synology. Well, that part is true, and I would not be surprised of what this guy in here in the room, Tardcon, what he says. I would go right down that road and say, yeah, he is. He's probably linked into Hollywood. He's probably a Mason. He's probably everything this guy says.
Yeah.
And that's why it was wink, wink, nod, nod to the comment about if he was going to go ever do a live stream with Steve Hoca talking about True Force Loneliness. And this man's never going to talk about True Force Loneliness. And he's not going to talk about where it came from, the root cause. You know, I did that video yesterday to show people in the manosphere where TFL come from,
But you
why we
notice though,
have
Bill.
this.
You notice though, Bill. Blue Skies will talk about TFL. He will mention TFL. And so that again leads back to the possibility that they're trying to lump TFL in with incels.
Well, I already know they're doing that. Because,
You know what I'm saying?
you know, well,
Because
Warren,
Blue Skies will talk about TFL, will name drop TFL. Monday won't. If they're playing off of each other, you got to think that's the entire reason why. That's the entire reason why Monday won't name drop TFL or you or Steve, but Blue Skies will.
well, I understand that, but here's one without Blue Sky. Let's leave him out of the picture. Let's go back a year or so ago when a van run over a bunch of females, supposedly phony baloney show, over in Canada. Okay?
Yeah.
Our driver of the van was an incel guy. In the middle of the Huffington Post article was a name, Steve Hoca, True Force Loneliness. Yes, they want to lump incel and TFL into the same category because they want to sell the original bullshit that it's men's own fault they can't get somebody. They
Yeah.
cannot sell that using True Force Loneliness. This is what I've been screaming at people. You could not sell that through True Force Loneliness because True Force Loneliness suggests what I showed everybody yesterday. It is not men's fault. They don't want you looking for the root cause. Think about it. All the years I've been doing this, Paul Elam, an agent, when I brought up the root cause to him, he ignored me like the plague. When the feminist Karen Stroud came along and he passed over a men's rights movement to females, and I went at her, she ignored me like the plague. But when did you ever hear Karen Stroud or Paul Elam talk about the root cause, where the problem comes from? No, we only talk about symptoms.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
This stands out. And you have to understand that that is like a gigantic red flag flying in the air, telling you something. And if you don't
And you'd
pay
expect that
attention,
more from them because they never dealt directly with TFL or the Dayton issue. They never dealt with any of that.
no.
You know?
And TFL is the most honesty out of all the manosphere. And I'm not bullshitting. True Force Loneliness is the most honest people. If you
Yeah.
want true honesty, it's coming from TFLers. It's not coming from MGTOW. It's not coming from Incel, even though Incel's still telling more truth than MGTOW even. Okay? You have a situation where men's right activists, problem, reaction, solution. You created the problem, you gave them PUA, pickup artist industry, and then you gave them Poilum, men's right activists, and you push symptoms, 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 symptoms. You never talk about the root cause. Well, that's what you're
Well,
going
you
now.
notice too.
Warren, every since the beginning, hasn't it always been you pointed your finger at the man? Isn't it the
Yeah.
man's fault? Even if the
Yeah,
woman
let me
does
point
it, it's
something
still
else
the
out
man's
here
fault?
too, man. Paul Elam is the Gloria Steinem of the men's movement. Okay, in a lot of ways. Even though I don't think he's as quite as hateful towards women as Gloria was towards men, but I think he's kind of the other extreme. I think he's more of a I think he kind of simped out in the end because he gave that men's movement to women, right? So I mean, but
Well, I
what I'm
think
getting
that was
at is this:
deliberately
okay,
done.
if you look at a lot of these people, man, and in these movements, a lot of them all have one thing in common that a lot of people don't want to look at. A lot of people who do look at it, it's the only thing they want to talk about is the fact that a lot of these people are fucking come from Jewish bloodlines. And again, I'm not blaming all Jews. You know, there are people out there who use that to attack all Jews. I think it's a little bit deeper than that. But you do notice that there is a lot of Zionist influence in Hollywood. There's a lot of Zionist influence in the political movement. All of our political representation is being ran by AIPAC, which is a Jewish lobbying corporation,
Yeah,
an Israeli lobbying corporation.
yeah. But you know, the point is it's in your face if people really pay attention. Problem, reaction, solution. Now they gave you the phony solution, which was the pickup artist industry, which they already knew wouldn't work, so that they could blame it back onto the man. And if you look at the social engineering, everything has been blamed back onto the man. And if you get a
Yeah.
marriage, Warren, and let's just say you have a wife, and let's say you got some kids, and let's say you got some married couple friends, well, this is a fact. Married couples hang with married couples. Well, let's say the wife decides she's through using you and she's going to throw you away now. You know what she's going to do,
A higher
right?
value guy came along,
Yeah.
right?
Well, once
Somebody
she.
who's better looking or taller or
Well,
richer
yeah,
or
but that's
got
not
the
the
nicer
issue.
car.
But the issue is this. Let's say, Warren, you had a wife for 15 or 20 years. You had married couple friends that you went and did cookouts with, maybe took some vacations, whatever, right? Now your wife throws you away. Well, guess what? All of the married couples, the men, hate your guts, Warren. They all throw you under the bus. Every last one of them. You will be the
Oh, yeah.
outcast. Okay? The man is always to blame for everything. Now, the loneliness that was created through the division comes back once again, point your finger at the man. What do the normies do? The normies say, it's your own fault. Warren, you don't have enough confidence. You don't have this. You don't have that. And this has been going on for years and years and years. So
that is true. That is true, though, man.
Yeah.
If a guy's wife ends up cheating on her, right? All of her friends and everybody else in general is going to turn against the guy, even though the guy's the victim. They're going to try to flip it around. The only people that will be on that guy's side is if he has any close friends, male or female, who are close enough to goddamn, take up for him. But
and
if it's just a bunch
unfortunately,
of random people, they're going
it
to take
is.
her side every
Well,
time.
that's not even so in a married couple situation, because I'll tell you what, you think this guy and this woman who's married was your close friend. You hung with him, you were with him for years, you've known each other for years, and when your wife dumps you, they all side with her, including that guy you thought was your best friend. He will throw you under the bus so
Oh, yeah.
quick your head will swim. Okay? Because
Yeah.
everybody stands by the female and the male is always, always in the wrong. So let's look at Forever Alone Monday. What he's preaching is the exact same narrative, that the guy is still always the cause. And this is why it just fires me up, because the truth of the matter is, TFLers, men, you're not the cause. You never have been the cause. The cause is what I've been screaming and showing you. But
Well, he
they
doesn't talk
don't
about
want you
looks.
knowing that.
He doesn't about how looks plays a factor and all that. I mean,
Well, of
yeah,
course
he don't.
he does.
He don't.
He has
He don't
more.
really.
He has to
He
tell
he
some
could go
truths.
deeper, but
Yeah, but see, he's still like any other agent. He has to tell some truth. So he will talk
yeah,
about looksism and things that you know is true, okay?
yeah.
But what do you want to put money on it? He will never, ever, ever touch the root cause. He will be like Paul Elam.
Nah.
He will never touch that root cause, and he won't have a debate on a live stream with Steve Hoca or me, because he can't win the debate. Because I would bring the evidence to the table that he can't back up, so he can't win the debate. So the best thing to do when you can't win the debate is you don't have a debate. You just ignore it and
Yeah.
keep pushing the lie.
Yeah, none of them will ever. None of them will ever touch the root cause of this bill. Especially people in the mainstream, because if they do, they'll be out of a job just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
Yeah.
I like to use Steve as a good example. because I have a lot of trade skills in my life, right? And Steve, having the trade skills Steve has and doing it for a living and even teaching it in a college, he totally is right on spot. If you do not find the root cause, you cannot fix the problem. You know what really irritates me to hell? Is you know what should be going on, Warren?
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of men all over the world right now should be madder than fucking hell. And they
They
should
should
all
be.
want to go after the people who have done this to them, but instead they're just turning their back, looking the other
Well, see,
way. I mean, it just
this
fires me right
this
up.
is what I find funny, Bill. This is what I find funny when people want to sit here and talk about TF owners are weak and all this stuff. Well, let me get this right, okay? Okay. You got hundreds of dudes out there that are literally taking anything they can get, even if they have to date down to absurd levels, just to not be in our position, right? And these people are simping left and right, and always putting this woman up on a pedestal and kissing her ass left and right just so they don't end up where we're at. All right. Some of us, if we wanted to date down to absurd levels to our level, I mean, could theoretically do that too, but I can't bring myself to do that. So let me understand this, right? Okay. Me not willing to degrade myself to their extent is the only reason why I'm not like them. I mean, so somehow that makes me the weak one.
Yeah, see? What did I just say, Warren? Doesn't that fit? Regardless of what,
Yeah,
Warren?
I know, right?
Yeah, regardless of what, Warren. You know what you did wrong? You was born with a penis between your legs. Like as if you had any say so.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's your only crime. Your crime is you was born a boy. That's why you hear me get sarcastic and say, why don't we kill the boys off? It's born a boy. Ooh, kill it. And I know that's evil as shit to say, but that is the mentality of our world. When Steve Hoca made the statement that women love women, men love women, women hate men, and men hate men, you couldn't have been more spot on if you tried.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a really accurate way to sum it all up right there.
Yeah, that was so spot on when Steve told me that, because that was Steve's words. And it was so spot on. That's exactly what it is. And then you got all these women in this world crying and whining and complaining, but yet do you ever hear them even look at the man's issues and think about a man's issues? No, because it's about their own selfishness.
It's all about what they can get out of it. They'll never stop to think about, well, what does the man have? Do I already have? And I mean, they don't think about where it leaves men. It's all about ourselves, like you said. They can give a fuck if you have anything at all with a man. I mean, as long as she can live in abundance. I mean,
That's
all you are to
exactly.
her is a draft animal or a work mule.
You're just you're an ATM. You're an ATM. You're a slave. You're a simp. Your job is
I
just
mean,
to do her pleasing, her begging, and when she's tired of using you, don't worry. She'll just crumble you up like a hamburger wrapper and throw you away and move on to her next, because she has no problems replacing you, because she has all the say so, all the everything.
And sometimes these are the same women that will walk out in the streets half naked with their fucking titties and ass hanging out, wanting some Chad to notice her, and will get them all mad because some average guy notices her. And well, you're objectifying me. Oh, the irony. Couldn't cut down with a blowtorch.
Oh, I know. It's so, our society is so messed up. And I try my best to get it through people's heads, because in the manosphere, we have guys pointing at other guys. We got all this infighting going on. We have people like Hell by the Dashboard Light who hates my guts and don't even know me, okay? Who's pointing his finger at other men and blaming them because they got somebody in their life, and not understanding is so toxic that if you get a female in your life, you're most likely going to be treated lower than a piece of dirt on the ground, used up, spit out, thrown away. Your money will be stolen out from underneath you. Your life will be destroyed while she moves on with her life like she's done nothing wrong because that is normal behavior. And all of the friends that you had while you're with her, they're not your friends because they're going to stand by her even if she cheated on you behind your back.
Here's the thing, Bill. Here's the thing, okay? After you've lived this life for a certain number of years, even if, let's say tomorrow, Matt, I was able to meet that needle in the hayforest, I mean, that one woman who was the complete exception to all this stuff, man, and let's say me and her fell in love. It was a non-dramatic relationship where we could just enjoy being with each other, enjoy spending time together, right? Let's say that happened, right? Nobody was using anybody. We're just happy together, right? I love her and she loved me, right? I'm still going to be affected by all those years I've had to live with this. It's still going to have a psychological effect.
Well, it does.
On me.
I mean,
Warren, it don't just go away.
This is where people didn't even understand me. They would say, well, Bill has a woman in his life. He has a child. He didn't live TFL. They don't know that. I lived TFL a bunch of years before that happened. And they don't know what happened in between. When she wasn't there no more, I was right back into TFL. That damage just don't go away. And my compassion is what's right for everybody. And because I care about everybody as in a whole and want what's right for everybody, regardless of your color, regardless of your race, your gender, I want what's right for everybody, right? And I absolutely get sick and fed up with corruption, which is us dumping on one another. Okay? So I fight for all of us, and then I have people that come along, okay? Even that VS guy, that young 20-year-old, he won't acknowledge me. And I'll guarantee you the only reason he don't acknowledge me is because he thinks, well, I couldn't be a TFLer because you've taken something that I gave you a name for, and you think that you have the right to rearrange it to your own definition and not understand what's going on in society.
Well, he has called it TFL in his videos.
I understand that, but the point is
he's called it every other name you can think of: NCL, TFL, forever alone.
Yeah, I understand that, but the point is, Warren, I have a lot of people in TFL, in Incel, MGTOW, the Manosphere, who hate on me. And I've done nothing to them but tell them the truth. And they hate on me. Do you understand? By you you can take something and change it to your want and hate on other men. Yeah. You're going along with the globalist plan. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're helping your enemy. Why are you helping your enemy? Why ain't you standing together, mad as hell, and going after your real enemy? See, you'd rather hate on me.
I mean, you might be right. I'm not saying you are, but you want to play your cards wisely. What I would do before jumping to conclusions is I would send a friendly invite out, to have them show up and talk with you or discuss things in a friendly manner, and then see where it goes.
Warren, with FL or whatever that guy that Steve's had on his show, or FB, I've been on his channel when he's doing live streams, and I've typed into his chat several times and was completely ignored. And every time I go there, completely ignored. And don't tell me he's not seeing me. I know he did.
Was it Monday or was it Blue Skies? Was it Blue Skies?
No, the guy that Steve has on his show. What is that?
I'm talking about Monday. I'm talking about Blue Skies.
Oh, no, Blue Skies, no, I don't know this guy. I'm talking about my experiences with other TFLers, the young guys, and I know them. And I know why they're doing it. Because they decided, because I would have somebody in my life, that I can't be TFL, and I have no right to speak out, even though they're running with the name I gave to them, and even though I'm showing them who their real enemy is, and they don't want to look for their real enemy. They want to sit there and continuously whine and cry about their problem and never look for where it came from. And
Yeah.
you can never, ever, ever get anywhere doing that. The only thing you're doing is helping your enemy. They're laughing at you because you're dumb. And and I know people hate it when I say that. Stop being dumb. Start looking for the root cause, where the problem come from. Listen to a little bit of what I'm saying and go look for yourself. Then you'll realize that I don't hate you guys. I want you to know who your real enemy is. I want you to get mad as hell. And I want you to stand up against your real enemy. Because you're losing because you're not standing up.
Yeah.
That's where I come
Get
from.
mad as hell, but don't get so mad that you end up being stupid like some of these edge lords, these rage lords, and certain incel corners, man. I mean,
Correct. You can be mad as hell, but do not be mad as hell to where you're not using, where you're not using, because if you don't use your brains and you operate out of emotions, which is what Hell by the Dashboard Light does, you wind up sabotaging yourself. I mean, it should be mad as hell, Warren. Think about your own life. Was that fair to
yeah.
you? You have a right to be angry. Dave would have a right to be angry. And so all of these hundreds of thousands of millions of men out there, they have a right to be angry. And Jeff Ashton, you have the information. I will not type it in this chat because that invites trolls to call in.
Yeah.
So you have to, I told you to hold on to it before. You got to put it in a text file on your computer or something, because you do have the information to call in, but you're not keeping track of it. And you need to put it in a text mode or something.
Who's trying to call in?
Well, Jeff, I think, was wanting in. Well, the phone numbers that are showing, I can't do nothing about. This was unplanned. I'm not going to censor the whole show because Dave's number and Warren's number's there. If some idiot calls their house, they'll just have to rip them a new asshole and hang up on them.
Just put a block on their phone number.
Yeah, I
Most
mean,
likely.
the time you guys
Hopefully
called
that
into
won't
the
happen.
show, I was not going to shut down the show to put in stuff to cover up your numbers. Did you understand what I'm saying? Steve and I came in here, and this show was Steve and I, and Dave came in on his own. Okay, Warren, you came in, but I cannot take your numbers out without taking down this live stream and completely re-editing it. So, it's one of them situations. If we had planned this ahead of time, their numbers wouldn't be there. But it wasn't planned ahead of time. So their numbers are there. I can't change that, and I'm not going to take it down. If some moron takes that number and calls Dave, I'm sure Dave's man enough to hang up on him. I mean, just like Warren is. Most trolls don't want to call personal numbers anyhow.
Right.
They just want to
And
get under your skin online.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anyway. But even if it does, just put a block on it. That's all. It takes care of that.
Yeah.
Well, even our one guy in here says women love women more than so-called Chads. That's true. I think women love their pet dog more than they do any guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how would women not love a man or like a man? How could they even like a man? They grew up in a world where their TV set babysat them, and they were told that a man is a vile, evil, sick pervert and a predator and of this and everything evil. So they were turned against men from the time they were children. So they grow up being man-hating psychologically, and they don't even know they are. But when they hate on you, they have a right to hate on you, because if you say anything about their hating on you, you're the woman hater. How
And what
dare
I've
you?
noticed more and more is when you back them into a corner with facts, there's always the rationalization hamster. They always try to rationalize while it's okay for them to do something blatantly wrong, like bullying the loser kid or whatnot, and something like that, they'll always look for a rationalization to justify it. Based on kind of looks, money, and status, while denying that it's based on that. But it's very obvious.
Yes, that's exactly
You know.
it. And they'll deny it, even though it's so right in your face.
Yeah. They're really big on the looks issue these days. I mean, that's one thing I've really noticed personally the most myself is the favoritism that they give towards guys that are like really good looking.
You know what pisses me off the most about that is when you really look into it, you'll find out that the best looking women and the best looking men are actually evil as fuck.
You're right.
They're evil as fuck. They're sick. They're evil. They're self-conceited. They're low-life scum. Okay? And then to top it all off, people are so worried about looks that it plays into everything in life, right? But nobody keeps their damn looks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's psychopathic behavior. It is very sick.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do, but Forever Alone Monday, you can know this. The guy's an agent. The guy's probably straight out of Hollywood. The guy's got himself a contract with Hollywood because that's how he makes his living. He's up here now being an actor, and he's doing a psyop on the manosphere, and he's going to make all you men know that the reason you're living TFL or can't get a woman is because of your own fault. And if there's nothing you can do about it, you just need to accept it. Accept it.
Right.
NWO's final stages. Doing away with genders. Accept, accept. Obey. Roddy Piper, they live. Obey. Don't give any resistance.
Yeah.
We don't want resistors.
Yeah.
And my preach would be, no, I want hundreds of millions of resistors in the manosphere to get mad as hell, to stand together and rise up and go after the people responsible for this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're ever going to turn this over. The only way we can ever stop it is to go after the entity. And even if we go after the entity and put it to a stop, you're still talking 3-4 generations before we're going to see any kind of turnaround. Because now you have to reprogram people and get people back into recognizing right from wrong and treating each other like human beings again.
Yeah, hell, even 10, 15 years ago, man, if somebody was suicidal, I mean, most people would try to, at least try to talk them down from it, right?
Yeah.
These days, man, if somebody's suicidal, I mean, people would just, go jump off a bridge, go do it. We're better off without you anyways. I mean.
Yes, that's exactly it. But I think we've been up here.
I mean, it was horrible 10, 15 years ago, but I mean, compared to where we're at now, I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
It's not going to get any better, Warren.
Yeah. I think social media has definitely put this thing way out of whack, with the Tinder and Facebook and all that stuff. It's just, it's really.
That's why you hear me. Yeah, that's why you hear me, Warren, say we got to get mad as hell, and we got to recognize our real enemy, and we have to get mad enough to stand together to go after our real enemy.
Right.
And people like
men. Right. I mean, men got to stop encouraging it. That's what I see going on. Is just so many men are just encouraging, women to just do this when, the narcissistic behavior and everything. And we definitely need more men coming out talking about the root cause.
Oh, and then you got the people online, the agents, that are collecting money to keep the problem alive. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh yeah.
They're collecting money to come up online and deceive you and keep the problem that's going on alive. That's what they're doing. You know, when we get mad as hell, stand together, you'd go after somebody like Monday, Forever Alone Monday. And you'd take that sucker and put him in a spot. Shut his ass down. Okay? You'd go after the people that are doing this, and then you would raise up and go after your governments and your people above your governments and the pyramid and let them know you ain't got no power. Your power came from us. You want to abuse it? Take this, mother. You know, I'm sorry, but that's what needs to happen. And people like Google,
Yeah.
you may own YouTube, but you know, if 50 million people get together and come storming through your doors, you order followers up there. What can I say, man? You brought it on yourself.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Bill. Yes and no. I agree with you. If everybody was able to think consciously like that, it would work. The problem is there's always going to be stupid and greedy and morally corrupt and intellectually corrupt and bankrupt people out there. And
I know.
they're always going to fuck everything up.
I know exactly what you're saying, Warren. I'm only saying how I feel. And if people want this
Yeah.
to change, there's only one way to make it change. And if you're not going to do that, then get ready to bend over, accept the microchip in your head, become controlled by a handful of people, be denied in life and enjoy it, okay? And go on with your misery and enjoy a freaking robot that'll be watching you, spying on you, probably even be set up to kill you if they want, okay? You can enjoy all of your misery and your suffering
Yeah.
and no complaints. I don't want to hear any complaints because you have no reason to complain. Because when you're not willing to do anything to change it, then you really have no reason to complain about it.
You know what's even more sad than that, Bill? Is eventually they'll come to love their abuse and their enslavement from their government. I mean, we're talking about way in the future and ahead of time where we're heading out. Eventually, everybody's going to be brain chipped. And all they're going to know, is love Big Brother, man.
Well,
Mean,
yeah,
that's going to be the only emotion
correct.
they're going to be allowed to feel.
And they'll use
That's going to be literally the only emotion they'll be allowed to feel.
Well, Warren, they'll use AI. They'll brain chip you and use AI. And they'll program you to think and feel and act the way they want you to. You'll be nothing more than a human robot. For a bunch of sick twice psychopaths that you didn't want to stand up to. God, I hate saying that, but that's where you're headed. But anyhow, guys, hey, I think I've been up here long enough. I think I'm going on what, 2-3 hours. I don't know. I mean, I've been up here a long time now, so.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of hours anyway.
Oh yeah, easily. So you know, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. And I appreciate you being here, Dave. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Hoca.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, and thank you, Warren. But I'm going to get off the live stream for now. And with that,
good talking to y'all.
Yep, y'all take care.
All right, have a good one.
Yep.